of oceanography. I'm up here at Ice Camp Borneo as part of the North Pole Environmental Observatory team. There were 4 of us that went out to ice camp that we established at the North Pole. We're actually heading back now on that plane behind us, our ticket south, but the 4 of us went out 8 days ago now, and established this camp, 2 tents to first recover a mooring that we put down 2 years ago that we keep almost at the geographic North Pole in 4,200 meters of water. It's almost 14,000 feet long. And then to put in the new mooring that we brought up with us that will last for another 2 years. It was a lot of work. We had our trials and tribulations, as most of these camps have been, but ultimately we were successful. And some of the video and stills and time-lapse photography you'll see coming up is footage that I shot out at the camp. Hopefully it'll give you an idea of what's involved in doing this rather impressive bit of work that these guys do. I'm just a diver and an assistant and a grunt, but it's an audacious task to drop 4 guys off with a pile of gear at the North Pole and fly off and build their own camp and melt the hull and release the mooring. And this year we were just able to grab the mooring without diving, but in the past we've actually had to scuba dive for the mooring and then recover the mooring. You'll go see all that, and then ultimately the mooring in. A lot of work, but it was a bit of good science that I think was done for the people at the Polar Science Center at the University of Washington. To get to the North Pole, we start by flying to Copenhagen, Denmark, and then onward to Oslo, Norway. It's a beautiful old city, and we spend a day there before flying onward to Svalbard, an island off the north coast. I fly in a few days before Sam and Paul do. It's beautiful there. This is Longyearbyen, Svalbard, a kind of a province of Norway. We're at 78 degrees north, just off the Greenwich Zero line. Flew in here yesterday on our way to the North Pole, and this is the canyon that Longyearbyen is in. Longyearbyen was originally settled as a coal mining town. In fact, up there on the hillside you see one of the abandoned coal mines. Some of the buildings, we're staying in one of those ones right there off center in the view right now.
Nå må du prøve å få det derfra, så vi kan like godt da sette adressen til deg i Longyear, og så følger du med. Precis. Ok, så da sender vi det til pole position, og så finner jeg ut i morgen. Eller, ja, det går ut i dag da fra Seattle. Da finner jeg ut i morgen hvordan det blir sendt, snakkbrev og så videre. Og da du i stand til å track it from there.
There's a lot of tourists here. Much more so than in Resolute. They come for skiing and snowmobiling and checking out the reindeer, which of course are right down there by our building that I just left from to go chase the reindeer down. And of course they come up here. I come up here and they go down there. And there's Paul and Sam supposedly on that plane there, arriving from Seattle. What a spectacular flight in. So here we are at the airport, labeling all of our boxes for first helo, second helo. This is basically everything that's for for the mooring camp recovery. Set the mooring camp up, melt the hull, pull the array. So diver gear's in here, food, survival gear, tents, all the mooring, the new mooring gear is over here and out in the container. So most of it's not here, but the rest of it's hopefully all here. It is Karlsfjordland National Park there, across the way. And the end of Longyearbyen there in the foreground. After 2 or 3 days in Longyearbyen, checking and rechecking our gear, we're now ready for the final flight to the Ice Camp Borneo and the North Pole. I jump in the back of a pickup truck for that last drive to the airport, where we'll get on the Russian Antonov aircraft that will fly us there. We have butterflies in our stomachs. Well, here we are. After 4 flights, we have arrived at Ice Camp Borneo, a Russian tourist camp maintained every spring at about 89 degrees north. It's cold, probably 30 below zero, and we're not quite used to it. We meet some other people that have been here for a few days and start the process of transporting equipment from this aircraft to our Mil-8 helicopter, which we will then fly on to the mooring camp. A short snowmobile ride away from the Antonov plane, we get to our final mode of transportation, a Russian Mil-8 helicopter, a workhorse of the Arctic. We go from one screaming machine to another and transfer about 5,000 pounds of gear that we will fly on 2 helicopters to bring us to the North Pole. An hour after landing, the Antonov plane, empty of all of our cargo, taxis for takeoff. It's about midnight. The Antonov is a very unique plane. It's the only twin-engine turbojet aircraft that services the Arctic. It has short takeoff and landing capability and can fly all of our cargo in one flight. It's a hell of a machine, and only the Russians have one. Arctic oceanography involves a lot of moving boxes around from one place to another. Here we load the helicopter for the final flight in camp.
Когда мы вот эти штуки положим на него, а иначе он потом не залезет. Понятно? Yeah. Let's не торопился. Not be in rush. Okay. Slowly, because this helicopter is very soft. Yeah. So.
With the helicopter crammed to the rafters with our equipment on all of us, we finally leave Borneo. On this flight, there's the 4 of us, and then there's the 3 helo crew, but also there's Sergei, our bilingual liaison officer with the Russians, an oceanographer himself. He's a great guy and very helpful. It's about an hour's helicopter flight to the GPS coordinates of where we put the mooring 2 years ago. We don't know what kind of ice we'll find there with whatever is overhead. There's leads, there's pressure ridges. It's all a very fascinating and mesmerizing view out the window. We must be close. The helicopter started circling and we've lost altitude. We look through the window to see what kind of ice we may have to deal with.
Like half a kilometer, 500 meters.
We don't waste a minute and get right to work. First job is to drill a hole through the ice so we can lower an acoustic transponders through and see if we can wake up and talk to the acoustic devices on the mooring. We struggle with the equipment in the cold. We get the gas-powered auger to operate and we drill our hole through the ice and now lower the transponder into the hole.
Okay, man, this is the moment of the hour. 2 years. Will it talk back?
Only teenagers talk back.
Jim's sending the activate the waste It's talking. It's talking. All right. Well, guys, I guess we're not going home early.
453 slant. Let me go into 6. Enter. Range. Oops. 446 meters horizontal. 22 degrees port. 23 port. So
The acoustic transponder gives us both range and bearing.
that way port.
Initially, they gave us very good results.
16 port. Port? Yep.
So 450 meters.
Yeah.
We ought to maybe dig out an Acoustics.
Despite initial good results with the acoustics, things got worse when we got closer.
There are 3 releases on this mooring,
Yeah.
and you have tried them all, or just
Just the 2.
the 2 main ones?
I don't want to wake up that third one, but man, there's just nothing.
So we walked about 400 meters or so from where the helicopter put down, because that's what the acoustic transponder told us. It should have been pretty accurate. My measurements, according to my GPS from 2 years ago, was right there on that little ridge, right in the foreground.